She's incognito.
Camera's off, Merv.
Looks like we're live, so we're ready to go, Mr. Chair. I am here. I'm just not putting my video on because I'm sick. I'm not as brave as the mayor.
I don't
I
think I'm
still
as sick
don't-
as you, Annette.
I still don't see Annette.
No, her camera's off.
My camera's off, but I'm here.
Okay,
But we're ready to go when you are, Merv.
Do you want to call the meeting to order?
oh, okay, I thought you were, okay. Well, it's 1:35. I'll call this meeting, a committee meeting for Bone Shore Valley to order. Any additions to the agenda?
Hi, it's Tracy here. I have an addition to the closed session for an identifiable individual.
Okay,
And I'd like to add one to the open session as well to talk about our flags. If that's okay.
and closed
See,
session, open
Why
session.
don't you add that when Kevin's with us?
Okay. Just because it's something, Jen, we've discussed in Annette, we get so many calls about our flags. I just would like to have a conversation about it.
Well, I have one about cats, but it won't take very long. Anyway. Motion to approve the agenda as amended. Tracy and Jennifer, all in favor? Anyone have any peculiar interest? Seeing none, approval of the minutes of the previous meeting. Any errors or omissions or comments? Motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting. Jennifer, Tracy, all in favor? Carried. Okay, I guess Annette, you're on first for administration.
Kevin's on first, Merv.
Pardon?
Kevin's on
Kevin is on
first.
first.
and he-
Okay, go ahead, Kevin.
Good afternoon, everyone. The arena there, you can see on my report, we are EHL has started, so we have 6 teams, so we've got 2 weeks in, so things are going well. Our Christmas dinner, I've got 3 quotes. I need direction from council if you want me to proceed with the lowest tender.
Any comments from council?
Are we
Should I-
bound? Do we have to take the lowest tender?
Kevin, do we have to take the lowest tender or do you recommend we take the lowest tender?
I think that's a council decision on that. I don't know how really to answer that. We have the quotes in front of us, so it's entirely up to as a
Well,
group.
I'll seek a motion then to approve the lowest tender for the township dinner.
It's just staff direction. Tracy, are you okay with it?
Are those the 3 caterers that we normally deal with? Or do we deal with the same ones all the time, so to speak?
Those generally are the 3 that we reach out to in the past.
Okay, I haven't been involved in this event, so I don't know what's normal. So I guess I'm okay, Jen. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I was just because we haven't used the second lowest in as long as I've been here, and I was just wondering if we wanted to
What-
try something new, but
What's the second lowest one there? Sorry, I just have to, I can't open my computer. well.
$32.95.
Who's is it Schmitz? Or is it Babbling? Okay, I don't know who they are, but if that's,
This has always
For
been good
fairness.
to us.
yeah,
They've always been good to us. I just didn't know if anybody had any thoughts.
I always like to weight it personally with hiring people, that's, it's fairness for all of them, but
That's exactly why I'm asking.
yeah.
Brent, have you any thoughts?
I was just gonna say because Kevin, they're all quoted on the same plates, same everything.
Yes, very, very few, changes. It's pretty much the same.
Yeah, my recommendation would just be going with the lowest. It's always been good quality, so I'm fine with that.
That's sort of the path I was going down. Like, they've been good to us, but I was thinking along the same terms as Tracy, and I apologize. I'm really sick, so I'm not orating as well as I should. But I was just thinking, should we, mix it up a bit? But I'm fine with the lowest.
I'm fine with the lowest as well, so. Is that the direction we should give?
Sure.
Yep, we go with the lowest tender.
Thank you. Public skating, mums and tots, we got about 2 weeks in, so it's been a little slow starting. We had 12 out here this past Monday, so the word is getting out, and Monday was a nice day, so the sun was shining, so people probably want to stay outside.
Kevin, can I interject for 1 sec? Is it always mums and tots or is there fathers there too?
It's a well mixed combination.
Can we call it parents and tots? Sorry, it's just a vernacular sort of. I just think that, it's 2023, you might want to be inclusive. Not to
Yeah.
pick it apart. I just think it's,
For sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
we can.
naming convention.
Yeah. For the Eagles Nest, the library is doing a fundraiser up there on November the 18th. Anyways, and the other one, it was there's a paint. Lisa Agnew's doing a fundraiser for hospice paint night. Looking to get the rental free of charge. It's going to our fundraiser. So I just need direction from council to waive the rental fee.
Go ahead, Jen.
Sounds good to me.
We've done this in the past. Please do it. Thank you. I feel
Thanks,
like
Bob.
it's our contribution to hospice.
All in favor, do it as we did in the past? Good, carried.
Thank you. The next 3 items is pretty much winterizing Centennial Park and the other parks around, getting things closed up. The other one is for Centennial Park, the OPP is looking into the vandalism. They have footage, so I know they've done some further investigation. So everything's on the down low right at the present time. Campbell Monument put a new stone in at the Indigenous, or I should say the Salt monument. So there's we have three different languages there now. And the time capsule, Bob Peltzer has a new one. He was hoping to get it up yet this month, so I think he's just waiting for some nice weather to get it all, pick a nice day and get it done.
Right, Kevin? Kevin, what does he mean? Is he gonna take down the old one and put up a new one?
He's got a whole new sundial
Oh,
manufactured.
just a sundial on top?
Yeah, he's going to put it right
Okay.
on top.
Yeah, okay.
The fountain's been moved out of the river. Splash pad has been winterized. So everything else is pretty well. All our parks have been shut down, are getting shut down. And for the winter months. My report's pretty straightforward. So that's all I have in my report. Unless someone has any questions. Yes, Tracy.
Sorry, is this where we want to talk about the flags? Annette, Jen. So Kevin, you probably appreciate as counselors, we always get calls and you know about the flags and stuff. And, recently there was a call about the water treatment flag, that the flag at the water treatment plant. I didn't realize it wasn't operated by the township. I got a little flack for that, for complaining about it to Annette. So I just wonder, in our community, I understand the issue with having a vendor with the boom truck accessibility to change these flags. And I guess it's a question for all. Have we ever had sort of a flag watch program where people, call in or email an address and say, I see a flag that's in disrepair or needs to be repaired, that sort of thing, because it's a constant complaint that we get. I know I get many of them, and I'm sure others do as well, in terms of the shape of and condition of our flags. The one at the water treatment plant was in tatters. It was like a dish rag. And, given that we have all of these banners up now acknowledging our former vets, we need to make sure our flags, in my opinion, are up to standard, up to snuff, that we don't ever get these calls. I don't know the answer, but and I understand we're relying on one individual, so to speak. How can we do better and make sure that we get these flags changed when they need to be changed?
I agree with you, Tracy, but I think the program is people email or phone us.
Yeah,
That's the program as it stands. I made a mistake because I drove through the day before you got that call, and I meant to reach out to say that the ones on the bridge look terrible. I find the ones on the bridge, though, they seem to be okay one day. We get a couple of bad storms and then they're in tatters as well, which is such a shame. But I agree. Is there another source that we could use, Kevin, so that when we do notice that these flags are starting to look war torn, that they can be re-and-read right away or within a reasonable amount of time? Like, is there a second source?
Yeah.
There is a second source, and I reached out to an individual. The individual used right now has been very good to us in the past. Like sometimes, like a matter of a phone call, and he helps us out. This last little bit, he's had back surgery, so I'm just waiting. He's back working now. So to answer your question with the other flags on the bridge, yes, they're going to get removed very shortly here. So I was talking to him last week. So we'll pick a good day, and the Canada flags on the bridge will be taken down.
Okay. Any other questions?
I guess further to that, would you prefer me to reach out to another individual and proceed maybe a longer term?
I don't know if the individual we're using is local. I wouldn't want to go outside our
Yes.
community.
Or a backup
Right.
person? Can we have a backup person? I mean, especially when we're approaching Remembrance Day, right? And we have all of these beautiful banners up to acknowledge our vets in the area. And we have many vets in the area. And something like that, to see a tattered flag is very upsetting to them. And, I can understand that. So it's just the timing. If it's a week, it's one thing, but if it leads to like 2 months and that flag is still up there, that's another thing, right?
But Kevin, I totally agree with you. The person that's doing them is extremely good to us.
Yeah.
But do we have somebody in our back pocket if it did go on for 2 or 3 weeks?
Well, that's just a matter of a phone call and arranging it to say, we need you. It's like having not an emergency, but it's something you got to deal with sooner than later.
Okay.
That would be great if you could just have somebody in the bullpen.
Nice to have. Anything else, Kevin?
That's all on my report, Merv, for today.
Any questions from council? Seeing none?
Oh, one thing, Kevin. I know that we talked about EACDG. Actually, you know what? I'm going to leave that till our next meeting because we have a meeting next week. I'll leave that alone. I'll
Yeah.
table that for now. Thank you.
Okay. just to let you know that I'll be off the first week of November.
Oh, I'm so surprised.
What a strange time to take vacation.
Where are you and Meg going, Kevin?
Yeah.
Yeah, to Niagara Falls for a little honeymoon?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Others wouldn't believe you, but I do.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks a lot, Kevin.
Okay, thank you.
Sandra,
Yes,
you ready?
the balance sheet ending September the 30th was in your package, as well as the provisional budget report. So just some quick highlights from the provisional budget report that was as of October the 4th. So on page 1, taxation revenue, slightly under budget on the subs and admits, but there are 2 more batches of supplemental billings to be ran for 2023. Halfway down the page under conditional grants, just so you know, on September the 21st, we did receive the aggregate resources payment for just over $23,000, and that's in the Ontario Roads Grant. Under protection to person revenue, you'll see that we have $7,201 in revenue. The budget was $2,000. So we did, the police grant was more. They were able to do more work when we anticipated. The good news though is the revenue is the same as the expense, which you can see on page 9. So it balances each other out. Over onto page 2, bylaw revenue. Dog licenses, the revenue is under budget at this time. Admin revenue, some up, some down, but overall admin revenue is above the budget. Over onto page 4, Hull revenue is on budget at this time. Overall 2023 revenue is looking good. So if you turn to page 4 for expenses, council expenses are on track. They'll probably come in under budget. Over onto page 6, fire rescue truck. The budget for that was $4,500. We've spent $9,400. There was some transmission repairs to that vehicle. On page 7, building overall looking really good, like be within budget. CBO materials and supplies are over budget due to a software expense of $4,500. Bylaw enforcement materials and supplies, we budgeted $7,000. Right now we're at $2,731, but we've only been billed up to August. The overall bylaw department is looking good. On page 9, admin expenses, cleaning expenses and protective services expenses, they're all looking good at this time. Over onto page 10, transportation service expenses also looking good. We've actually are just a bit over budget on winter controls, so this nice weather is very good for us. But the overall budget is good. It's just that one per, couple lines, but some are under budget, so that's good. Page 11, streetlights, garbage expenses are looking good. We are just slightly over budget on curbside recycling expenses. Over on page 16, community development, recreation and parks are all looking good. Over onto page 21, planning and tourism expenses are also looking good for this time. So we've only got 3 months to go and the year-end adjustment, so things are looking good. Also in your report was a tax adjustment report for a demolition. You'll have the resolution at tonight's council meeting. And on September the 28th, I attended an asset management workshop. On October 5th, I attended the tax policy working group meeting and a shared services meeting at the County of Renfrew and Pembroke. On October 11th and 12th, the auditors were here at the municipal office on site for our interim procedural audit. And October 18th, I attended the legal seminar over at the Eagle's Nest. And I think that's all. Does anyone have any
Any questions? Any questions? Seeing none.
I don't have a question, but I reviewed the budget more than normal, sort of a line by line, and I'm pretty impressed with where we are at this time of year.
Yes. Yes. We're a good place to be at. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Annette,
Merv.
you're ready to go.
Yes, sir. So in my report, I did get back to you with the dog tags for the replacement tags. So we went through the expenses of the tags and everything else, and it came out to just under $12. So having it be at a replacement tag for $11 and so many cents seemed kind of silly. So just rounded it up to $12 to cover the cost. So that bylaw will come forward to council this evening. We also implemented the pilot project this summer for flexible hours, as did the Public Works. Jason was on holidays last week, so I didn't get a chance to chat with him, but I'm sure he'll bring forward his report at the next meeting to discuss how it went with the Public Works Department. So what I would say is it did maintain, overall, people were happy coming to work. The job satisfaction survey is a little bit less following the program, but I think we just didn't get to connect. What I really found over the summer is there was sort of, we really do depend on each other and we work as a team. But when people are away certain days of the week, other people are away for holidays, what happens is we don't get the time to connect. So if we were ever going to do another pilot program like this, what I would suggest is we do it more similar to the roads department project, where it's the same day that people are away, or it's an afternoon or something like that, because it really that was probably the biggest thing that I didn't suspect would happen. And I guess it didn't happen with Public Works as much, because of course they were all away the same day, so they were still there working the same day. So something to sort of consider what we could look at to do that. But I mean, it definitely, absenteeism went down, so people were taking their appointments on the days that they were supposed to be off, so that was good. And as we didn't receive really any complaints about it, and we did have some good news where people who wanted to come in and sign up for marriage licenses or things like that, but they found 4:30 too early. Because we had staff working later, we were able to accommodate those people. So there were some good things, and some, like I said, the teamwork aspect of things was lower than I expected it to be. So we may have to address that if the staff is interested in moving forward. So I'll have further discussions with admin staff to see if it's still something that they wish to participate in, or perhaps it was a pilot and it just didn't work for this department. The museum, we did have a request. We were talking about flags earlier. So one of the requests that we've had through the year is for the flags at the museum, and the poles are too high that we can't reach them ourselves. We don't have a bucket truck, so we have to depend on others. So that's another thing where we're not always able to maintain the flags where we would like them. So one of the discussions that we had was whether or not we could move the flag poles lower to just above the doorways so that they could actually be reached with a ladder. So that discussion came forward, and we did ask the museum board for their opinion on it. And in the meantime, we have discovered through the museum board that the museum is, of course, a heritage building passed in a 1977 bylaw by the Council of the day. And I did reach out to Heritage Ontario to ask them about it. And they said, before you do any work on the building, what you have to do is bring forward a report to council, and it's council that approves what we can and can't do. So in that aspect, I brought forward this report. I've attached the heritage bylaw. I think everyone knows what the museum looks like when you see the flags, and it's just a matter of moving them down a few feet so that we are able to replace the flags. And if that passes at resolution at tonight's council meeting, then we will be able to move forward with that. So the other thing that I did receive on some correspondence that I had sent to council earlier was a complaint about some of our gardens and our flower baskets from this year. Really, the main complaint that I received was sort of by the end of August, the flowers were not being maintained the way that the Horticulture Society felt that they should be. So after some investigation, I did talk to Kevin and Emma, because they were supervising the Horticulture Society's staff. And, one of the things that came to light was that the staff did not get the training at Temperate Gardens, which they normally gotten in the past, and it's the Horticultural Society that arranges that, but they went through some changes in volunteers as well. So I just think there was maybe a changeover and people didn't get the memo. So the training didn't happen, which I think is important, because watering flowers might seem like something everybody can do, but you know, you want to make sure you do it right and you're pouring the right amount of water in, because if you rush the job or you don't get it done properly, then yes, it is damaging to the flowers. So I did talk to Kevin, they were watered every day. We did start out the year with the watering container that goes behind the old lawn tractor, but it broke down. Then we fixed it. Then it broke down a second time, and it was actually the engine this time, so we would have had to replace it. However, the students asked us not to worry about replacing it because they really liked walking with the wagon and using the watering cans as opposed to driving with the old lawn tractor with the big thing of water and that kind of stuff. So it also took less time with them walking because the lawn tractor is very slow. So I don't know what the right method is. And my response back to the Horticultural Society is, I think a few things changed this year. I think we need to make sure that next year the training happens. And then I think we need to have some discussions with Temperate Gardens. They did respond back just yesterday and said that watering cans are fine. There's no reason you can't water them with watering cans, but they have to be watered every day, and that the planters need about 5 liters of water. So were the proper amounts of water being done? I don't know. So there's I think if the training is done and if we keep an eye on it, if we do have to spend the money to replace the sprayer, if that happens to be a better method of watering flowers, we're certainly open to doing that. But whether we want to put thousands of dollars in the budget for something that we're not sure we need, that's a hard thing for us to recommend. So that's what we said, and I think the Horticultural Society agrees, but also sort of wants some guarantee that if this doesn't work out, that we will invest in a new hose and a new lawn tractor and a new sprayer. So just bringing that to council's attention, that's sort of our way forward. So we're going to start with the training, and we're going to start with the methodologies, and hopefully next year's flowers are really, really good. I don't know if council has any questions or direction that they want. Do you want to make sure that we put the money in the budget to replace the sprayer, or do you think these are sufficient methods?
I think we should just put that on a, for lack of a better term, a wish list for budget time, please.
Okay.
Just because we should know at least how much a sprayer is.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, we'll have more discussions then at budget time. So we did submit 2 applications to the County of Renfrew Warden Community Awards for the 2 that we discussed and closed. So if one of them are chosen, that will come forward. We're keeping them quiet for now. So, because it's always good when you win. Sometimes it's not always nice just to be nominated, but sometimes it is. The Provincial Volunteer Awards are also accepting applications for individuals only. So looking to committee for any suggestions today during closed sessions if you are interested in us applying to that as well. And also I did go ahead and book rooms at Roma Conference for Councillor Sanderson, Mayor Murphy, and myself for January 2024. The Lake Clear report will be presented by our consultants at the Tuesday, November 28th meeting. So that's ready to go, just making sure people are aware of that. Christmas holiday hours, so recommending similar to previous years and the way sites. And the reason why I wanted to bring this to council at this meeting is because I want to make sure that it gets into the November newsletter that Sarah is preparing right now. So I don't know if there's any questions on that.
No.
I'm gonna post this on my Facebook.
Okay. And also thank you very much for those that showed up for the, I think everybody here was on it for the emergency training requirements today. So we have to, that's just an additional thing from the province. So more cutting of red tape. So thank you for being there at the emergency training requirement today. We also have to do an emergency exercise. So that's the second part of that component. And we also have to pass a resolution. So the resolution will be coming to the council meeting this evening, and the exercise, the emergency exercise, has tentatively been scheduled for Wednesday, November 22nd. If everybody is available that day, then Erica and Emma, our alternate, will be working hard to prepare an exciting emergency exercise for all of us to participate in.
Good.
And I think that's all I have, other than Sarah's report and Erica's planning and licensing report, which are attached to my report. Still looking at funding and grants going forward through Sarah's report. And we do have a couple of planning meetings coming up in Erica's report, as you can see, into November. So that's still active. And that was, I think, all I really had to point out. I know you were saying, Mayor Murphy, that we were going to have a Eganville and area community development group. So there is still stuff going on there. So there might be more stuff on Sarah's report next month. The youth dance is coming up. We're still looking for some volunteers for that. And we did get back to the 2 CIP applications, and one has been completed. And I believe even the check has been issued, and the other one, we're just waiting to get a call back for the inspection. And I'm sure that will go fine as well, and we'll get those funds out. And waiting to hear from more and more of our funding applications to see if we've got more grants and we can take off with more projects. That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Thanks, Annette. Any questions? Seeing none? I guess we move forward. Just briefly before we go to correspondence, I had a neighbor come to the house last week, terribly upset that there's too many cats on Bonesford Lodge Road. Now, I know there's nothing we can do about it. He insisted I bring it up before council if anyone wants to comment on it. I don't know what the solution is, but there are cats, and there are cats all over. Don't hear you, Tracy. Can't hear Tracy.
Hi, sorry, I was on mute for some reason. Whiskers and alley cats have been, spending so much time and a lot of activity around trying to rescue cats, given the time of year, get them out of the cold. One thing we may want to consider, and I don't really know if there's budget or if it's possible, but many other municipalities are hosting spay and neuter clinics with the SPCA. That's an option. I mean, the more cats we neuter, the less cats there'll be, right? But I don't know what that cost is. If there's of interest, I don't mind contacting them to find out further info.
We were supposed to host one this fall,
Okay.
but Pembroke stepped in and
Okay.
they did it first. So it's possible it might come in the spring, but we lost out in the fall. Yeah, because I was talking to Kevin about that, about seeing what was available for that. But yeah, if you want to reach out, if there's another date that they're available, happy to chat with them.
Okay, perfect. I'll get back to you, Annette.
Thank you.
Don't know if that's not the entire solution. I mean, but it's a big part of it.
Part of the solution, yeah. Nothing else? We're still move on to correspondence. Any comments on correspondence A? Correspondence B? Yes. Jen.
So yes to the request from the Legion, of course. We always get a wreath.
Yes.
And the mental health workshops that was provided for our ag sector by one of our residents was very interesting to me. And I was wondering, Annette, if you would mind doing a bit more of a deep dive into it. I would be very interested to hear what other municipalities have done these and how it's worked for their ag sector.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I can, it's a form you have to fill out to request. You request them to bring a workshop to your municipality, and there's a cost associated with it. So I certainly can go ahead and request and get a quote, and I can bring that cost forward, and I'll see if anybody, maybe other neighboring municipalities are interested in sharing, and we can do a co-host.
That's going to be the next thing out of my brain.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we do the same as
we do with so many other things, right? With Cunningham Swan, with all of our workshops, we partner with our neighbors.
And I was going to bring up the topic when our next police services board meeting, and I realized that bear the brunt of this thing. Okay,
Can I just ask a question, Mr. Chair?
yes,
Just the Legion wreath, so same as last year,
Yes.
yes,
like same size? I don't, your price might be a slightly different, but yeah, thank you.
Yeah. What, because I think most of them are all the same size.
There's a couple of different options, but I think we always get two, one for us, one for the township and one for the fire department.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'll do. Thank you.
okay. Correspondence C, being none. New and unfinished business, museum update.
Yeah, so I just wanted to comment a couple things. The museum recently have installed cameras. As you know, we installed cameras within the building. We recently installed cameras on the outside of the building because there's so many, kids climbing the wall or maybe some shady business going on back there. We don't know. We've had people complaining, so there are cameras now. And secondly, we have our Halloween fundraiser event this Saturday from 6 to 9. We are going to have a miniature horse there. I have a student photographer. The horse will be dressed up. I'm not going to say what it is. So we're showing the movie Hocus Pocus. We're going to have rock painting, pumpkin painting, all kinds of snacks and treats, and raising money for the museum for future upgrades. So I hope to see you all there, and bring your sleeping bag or pillow or pajamas, costume, whatever you want. She's shaking her head.
What time is this?
6 to 9 on
6
Saturday
to-
night.
Okay.
Yeah. So Merv, I expect to see you in costume.
Well, I'd like to watch the show.
I'm going as a Sanderson sister.
Anything else? No?
No, that's it for now.
Library update? Brent?
Yep, no, everything at the library, we had a meeting a couple of weeks ago, so everything is rolling pretty good. Everyone's just getting ready for Buffalo Rocks, which will be coming. So you'll be seeing advertisement continually go out for that as well. Besides that, participation continued is up year on year. We're getting a significant amount of traffic. A lot of the technology upgrades have been done courtesy of the grant they received earlier this year. On top of that, just a lot of fundraising is looking very good, but the most important is the youth nights is still getting roughly about 17 of our youth out every week, which is really nice to see. And same as some other programming that just continuously comes out, and the homeschool program continues to utilize it. And really nice for residents up at Fairfields as well, as B has been able to go up there every week as well. Just on a consistent basis, which wasn't as apparent back in the last several years. So it's just really nice. A lot of good momentum. It'll just carry into next year as well. But that's everything I have for today.
Good. Any questions? Yeah. Generations board meeting, is that still going? Is that still canceled, or are we going at 3:30? It's canceled? Good. Okay, motion, I guess. Next meeting date? Well, what is it? October,
Next meeting date?
yes.
It's
got it on
November
the
4th,
calendar.
November 14th.
Okay, November 14th, yes. Motion to close?
Okay, just bear with me one second. Okay, so I'm going to need a mover and seconder, but the resolution is that committee proceed in closed session in accordance with the Municipal Act 2001, Section 239.2, to deal with the matters as indicated below. Personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, and K, a position plan, procedure, criteria, or instruction to be applied to any negotiations carried on or to be carried on by or on behalf of the municipality or local board. Can I get a mover, please? I'm seeing Jen. And Merv, do you want to call the vote? All in favor?
All in favor?
Okay, so if you'll just